This is a serpentine chest of drawers that I'm working on now. A lot of interesting details in this piece, and certainly one of the details is the shape of the front and the side and the outward extensions at the corners, the fretwork, and some carving as well. So it's an interesting piece. And I'd like to show how I began the creation of the drawer fronts on this serpentine chest. So the first thing to do let me show you the details of the drawer itself. So I'll go to the drawer assembly, and here you can see the top drawer, which is the smallest drawer, and typical 18th century dovetailed joinery with a beveled drawer bottom that fits in grooves in the sides. Now, if that's exploded, you can see what makes up the different parts of the drawer. And here's the drawer core, which I would like to show how to start the drawer construction with making that core. And then there's a cock bead, an ebony cock bead that surrounds the drawer core. That's 1/8 of an inch thick ebony, and the other parts, drawer bottom, drawer sides, or drawer back. And then the hardware in addition, including this key, drawer lock key brass insert. Now, if we just have the carcass without the drawers, how would we go about making a drawer? So the first thing that I do is pick the rectangle tool and grab the opposite corners. The drawer front is flush with these drawer frames where you see the serpentine shape in the drawer frames. So I'm going to pull this, or actually I want to push that face inward because it's not thick enough, so I'll give it some thickness here, maybe 1.5 inches or so. Doesn't matter, just so it's back there somewhere. And then I have to bring the front forward so that it extends beyond that serpentine shape on this drawer frame. So now, how do I shape that drawer core? Well, the easiest way is to use the serpentine shape that we already have on the drawer frame, this piece right here, and I'll open it for editing. Well, first of all, let me make this drawer core a component. Make it a component. I'll call it drawer core. And then the next step is to come down to this drawer frame where we have the shape that we want and edit that component. Right-click, edit, and click on that shaped edge, that top edge, and notice that the whole edge is now selected. When I made that curve originally, it was made up of many segments of arc pieces So what I've done is use an extension weld, which then takes all those little pieces of arcs and connects them into one continuous line. So I've selected that, and the next thing I'll do is go to Edit and Copy. I'm going to copy that serpentine shape, and then close the component and open the drawer core, edit that component, open that for editing, and then go back to the Edit tab and pick Paste in Place. This is a special feature that really is very effective for something like this. So now I've got that straight, or that single edge, shaped edge within the component, the drawer front core component. And I can pick the push-pull tool and actually now form the flush edge of that front face of that drawer front. So now we've got a flush face. Well, more than the flush face. So let me close that and copy it and bring it up so that we can see what we've got. Right now it's got a nice shape on the front, but a flat face on the back, and that has to change. We need the serpentine on the back face of the drawer front as well. I will edit this component and then bring this face back far enough, and then again select that serpentine shape and use the move tool as a copy tool and move it back 7/8, type 7/8, and that's the thickness of the drawer front core. And remove the waste with the push-pull tool. Now the drawer core fills the full space between the frames here, but I need room for the 1/8 inch bordering cock bead. So this has to come down 1/8 on the top edge. That's an ebony that goes around the mahogany core. And bring up the bottom 1/8 of an inch. On the edge, on the ends, they also need to come in 1/8 of an inch. So I'll draw a guideline 1/8 inch, and then draw a line on that guideline, and then push out, shave off 1/8 of an inch here on that end, and do the same, shave off 1/8 of an inch on this end as well. Guideline 1/8 inch, trace over a line, push pull, double click that, double click. I'll just come down and click on the base, and I need to delete that extra little rectangle down there. And now it's reduced in its dimension so that that cock bead will slip in there. And you can see the spacing now around the core. And I'm ready then to continue making the rest of the components that make up the drawer assembly. And that paste in place makes this a lot easier.